everyone, welcome to another video. In this video we're gonna be playing around with the Glamlite Ice Cream Dream palette. This will be my first time trying the Glamlite formula and I'm really curious if it is as good as they say. So let's get right into it and find out. So the Glamlite Ice Cream Dream palette isn't really a new palette. It has already been around for like a couple of months, but when it was first released I just didn't feel like it was the right time for me to try it. I think they released it in like the fall, and that's not really the time of year that I'm personally really into pastels. I just really love wearing pastels in the spring and summer, so that's why I decided to pick it up now and finally try the Glamlite formula. I've heard so many good things about this formula and I can't wait to finally see what all the fuss is about. And if you haven't been on my channel before, my name is Marley and I love making YouTube videos about makeup and beauty. I love doing looks, swatches, reviews, so if that sounds good to you, then don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get into the palette. First up, I have to show you the packaging it comes in. Look at this. I hope you can kind of see it. It's so big. This is an ice cream truck and this is the outer box for the palette. I did take the palette out already, but here is how the palette comes. In here is the palette when you get it. I feel like it is a bit much, but that's also kind of like Glamlite's thing. They have these pizza palettes and taco palettes and they really love to take their theming quite far. So I get it when I think about the brand, but it is quite a big bulky box. It's something, it's quite something. So let's get into the palette. This is the palette. The ice cream cone on the front is really reflective. You can really see everything that's on the other side of me. But this packaging is just really cute. I think it's really well done. It's not too bulky, it's not too big. You have this kind of like tie-dye print on the front and then this really cute ice cream cone that moves around. The sprinkles in there kind of move around. It's so shiny that you can't really see it on camera right now, but I just think this packaging is really fun. I think it's really well done and I feel like the packaging is one of the reasons why this palette got so much hype, because usually their packaging is really bulky and this one it's fun, but it's not too bulky, it's not too big, it does fit in your drawer, so that's what I really like about it and that's why I was like, maybe I should pick this one up and finally try the formula. So this is the inside of the palette. We have a lot of beautiful pastel colors, a lot of beautiful bright pastels, a variation of shades, but there are also a lot of neutral options. There are more warm neutral options and some more cool neutral options. I have to say it looks even better in person than it looks in photos, especially those shimmery shades look really beautiful when I look at them in the pan. I do feel like some of these neutrals are a little bit similar, but I do get why they put them in. It does give you some variation and you do have some deepening up shades, what I also really like, because I like pastels but I also like to have some definition in my look. I think in general I really like this color story, and what I appreciate is that this palette isn't too big. Like everything together, it isn't like too big. It is a little bit more heavy and it is a little bit chunky, just a little bit, but it's nothing too crazy. So I already played around with this palette a little bit yesterday just to get a feel for it a little bit before I came on camera and did a look. I felt like the mattes were indeed quite light and pastel. They are as light as you would expect and the shimmer formula really impressed me. I really like the shimmer formula. I feel like they kind of have some different types of shimmers in here. You have some more smooth and then you have some more shimmery shimmers. Maybe I can just swatch a few for you guys. I don't feel like it's really necessary to swatch this whole palette, but maybe I can just swatch a few to give you a feel for the formula. So let me see. I think I will swatch Birthday Cake. That is the green one that has a bit of a yellowy gold shift. That's really beautiful. And then Cotton Candy is this light blue. This one feels really creamy. It's always a bit difficult to swatch live on camera, but you can see how pretty that is. Then let's swatch Salted Caramel. That's one of the more nude shimmers. This is kind of like a cool toned taupey shimmer. That one looks really nice and impactful. I'm really impressed with this shimmer formula so far. So maybe let's do one more and let's go into... Oh no, I still had a lot of green on my hand and I put it in the shade. Wait, I'm a mess. What is going on here? So let's try that again. I'm going into the shade Strawberry and this is a bit of a cool toned pink, a bit of a hot pink. That one also looks really nice. So yesterday I already did a look and for that look I used some of the greens. So this green and I used this green shimmer here and I also used the yellows. And I actually really like that look. But I feel like with this palette you have to keep in mind that they are pastels. They are gonna be lighter. For today I think I want to go into some of the more deeper shades and see if looks with this palette can get a little bit more deeper than what I did yesterday. So yeah, I can't wait to play with this palette a bit more. Let's get into the look. I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit and then we're gonna apply some eyeshadow. So here we are. I think for this look I want to play around with the pinks a little bit and also with the yellows. I already used the yellows yesterday, but I'm just really feeling yellow right now because I have to say I don't really have yellow in my collection and I just want to play around with this color a little bit just to see how I like it. I think for this look I'm gonna start off with the shade over here called Raspberry. It's one of the shades in the palette that is a little bit more dark. So I just want to see how this one performs. Just gonna work that into the crease. Just gonna pat that down a little bit. Blend it out. I think I'm gonna blend it out with some lighter colors later on after I put this down. That went on really easily. That blended out very nicely. Just taking a little bit more over here. This is a really nice kind of cool toned hot pink shade. Let's do the same over here. If you really want the pigment of a shade then you have to pat it down first. If you start blending right away, then it won't get as pigment right off the bat. I can't wait to wear more pastel makeup. I really love wearing pastel makeup in like spring and summer. Just building it up a little bit over here. Blending this really doesn't take long. It's like easy peasy mac and cheesy. So that's looking good. I really like this color and this blend. I think I'm gonna take this darker color over here first before I go in with the lighter shades. That one is called Black Cherry. I think I'm just gonna deepen out the outer corner a little bit with this one. So I'm just taking the same brush and taking a little bit and just deepening up the outer corner slightly. I just want to add a little bit of dimension. So I really like how this blends together. That's really nice. Now I think I want to go in with this light pink shade called Mochi. And I want to use that to kind of blend out what I have going on now. So I'm just going to take a little bit of a fluffy brush. And I'm just going to place this on the edges here. Just creating a nice blend. That's working very well. I have to say so far I'm quite impressed. But I also had quite high hopes for this palette. Just looking at the color story and all the positive reviews, I felt like it was gonna be for me. But of course I'd never tried the formula and I just feel like not everyone likes the same thing. So sometimes you just have to try things for yourself to really know if you like it. Not everything is for everyone. So this is nice and blended. Now I think for the inner third of the crease I want to go in with the yellow shade. This one called Mango. How do you say that in English? Mango? Mango? Taking that on a crease brush and patting it down here. So I've actually never tried yellow eyeshadow, which is crazy because I've been quite obsessed with makeup for quite some time. But I used to always feel like, why are there always yellows in palettes? I just didn't feel like the pull towards palettes with yellows in there. I just didn't know what you would do with the yellow, so I kind of never bought any yellow eyeshadow. And then after, when I felt like I want to try yellow eyeshadow, I was like, I'm not gonna buy a whole palette just for yellow eyeshadow. And of course I could have bought a single, but that didn't happen. I don't know why. But what I do know about yellows is that they are always a little bit hard to get opaque, a little bit hard to formulate. So I'm not gonna be too harsh on this one. So where the yellow and the pink are mixing, I kind of get a coral color, but that's fine. So as far as I know anything about yellows, I feel like this is working quite well. This is looking quite good. Now let's get into the shimmers on the lid. I think first I want to go into the shade called Strawberry, and I want to put that on the outer part of my lid. Just gonna take that with my finger. This is a really creamy shade. All these shades feel really creamy. And when you apply them, they do have some shimmer, but they are very opaque, I would say. I don't feel like these are really like those sheer toppery shades. And I have to say, I do enjoy sheer toppery shades, but from time to time, I'm also someone who can really appreciate an opaque shimmer. This shimmer is really beautiful. I really like the tone and the finish of this one. Now let's get into the yellow shimmer shade called Lemon, and I'm gonna apply that in the inner third of my eyelid, and I'm gonna apply that with my finger once again. This is such a nice shimmer, and it just feels so creamy in the pan. Just gonna try and blend that a little bit. Let's do the same here. Just patting it to blend it a little bit together. This is looking good. I really like this yellow shimmer. And I also really like the combination of this. It's really different from anything I've done, but I'm really enjoying it actually. I'm just gonna take that pink a little bit further here. I don't know why, I just feel like it. For the lower lash line, I think I'm gonna go into the shade called Raspberry once again. I'm just gonna take a flat brush. I like how this shade gives me some depth without losing the pastel vibes. I'm also taking Black Cherry again and using that to deepen up the outer part of the lower lash line right over here. This really gives me like summer vibes, but then summer vibes and going to like a carnival or a festival or like something like that. I'm thinking if I should do something on my top lash line, but let's first put some of a rainbow sherbet on the lower lash line as well. I want to put this in the inner third and add a little bit of shimmer there. This is a little bit of a warmer pink, just right here. I think I'm just gonna put some of Black Cherry on my top lash line as well, and then put some of this French Vanilla shade in my inner corner. So I'm just taking a small brush and kind of smoking out the lash line a little bit. It's not that much darker, but I feel like it just gives a little bit more dimension. This French Vanilla shade is a little bit chunky, I feel like, but I do think it works in the inner corner. So that's the inner corner highlight. And I think this is everything for the eyeshadow. I think I like it like this, and I'm just gonna keep it like this. So now I'm just gonna put on some mascara and the rest of my face makeup, and then I will tell you all about my thoughts and my first impressions. So I'll be right back. So this is the final look. I will put everything that I used on my face in the description box if I remember. Sometimes I forget, but you can always ask me in the comments if there's anything you want to know. So I really like how this look turned out. I really like these colors together. I thought all the shadows that I used today in this look worked really well. So let's get into my first impression of the palette. So in general, I'm really happy with this palette. I really enjoyed the theme. I really enjoyed the color story, and I really like that it's not like crazy bulky or in the shape of a pizza. That's just not really my personal preference. I really enjoyed the shades I used so far. They are pastels, so they are gonna be a little bit lighter, but you do have some options to deepen up looks. That's also something I really like about this palette. You do have some extra options. It's not just pastel. So I'm mostly really impressed with the shimmers. I did really like the mattes. They blended easily, but the shimmers are really nice and creamy and really like foiled and pigmented. So that's what I like the most about this palette. I'm just really excited to use this palette more. I feel like there are just so many options, so many looks I can do, and there are some colors in this palette that I don't have anywhere else in my collection, so that also makes me really excited to use it more. I think my first impression is really positive. I really liked both the looks that I did, the look I did yesterday and the look I did today. It just all worked so well, and I just feel like this was the perfect palette by Glamlite for me to try, just because of the theme and the cute packaging and the color story. They could have condensed it maybe a little bit. Some of the neutral shimmers are a little bit similar, but I also kind of get why they did this, because they also want to give you the option to do some more neutral looks. So is Glamlite worth the hype? they might very well be. I definitely have to try it out a little bit more. I feel like there are just so many more looks that I can do. Probably I'm gonna do those looks off camera and just show them to you on Instagram. So if you're interested in other looks that I'm gonna do with this palette, follow me on Instagram. On Instagram, my name is Makeup Marley. So yeah, I'm really excited about this palette and about this brand. And who knows, maybe I will try more from them in the future. I'm definitely open to it. So that was everything for today's video. Like this video if you liked it and don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you in my next one. Bye bye!